Hey guys, we're back with a multi-part series. It's a guide for European delivery for Porsche specifically. Just wanted to give you guys a tips on how to be a part of the program with the dealership, as well as what you should prepare for heading over to Germany. So today we're going to be discussing the day of the tour. So for the European delivery program, there are two locations. One is in Zuffenhausen, Stuttgart. The other one is in Leipzig. Leipzig is a few hours north. It's kind of in a secluded town. It's really cool because it's kind of like Porsche Experience Center, Los Angeles or Atlanta, because they have a racetrack there. And you get to drive a car that's kind of equivalent to yours. And they have instructors there to help you and coach you and take you through it. And they have a little small museum there, but it's nothing like the Porsche Museum in Zuffenhausen. I picked mine up from Zuffenhausen just purely due to availability. Most people, they like to do Leipzig because they want the track experience. For me, I've done Porsche Experience Center, Los Angeles, and I felt like I wanted to go to the factory instead for the main HQ, because then you get to see all their facilities for the tours. And not only that, it was closer to Black Forest, it was closer to Zurich, and all the other locations that we were planning to visit. So logistically, Zuffenhausen made more sense. So that's kind of why we ended up going that route. The night before you arrive, we actually stayed at the Emilio Hotel, booked by Porsche, on the day of. That's your big grand day. You dress nice because they're going to take tons of photos. We head over to the Stuttgart factory. When we went, the European delivery building was actually under construction. So they had a temporary location that was essentially like a dealership. They had all kinds of stuff there. They had like a 918. That was not a numbered vehicle because there's only 918 examples in the world, but it was a functioning example that they were not allowed to sell. But tons of cars. And what I noticed too is the European car prices are actually much lower than the US for GT cars. Over here, there's a lot of dealer markups and such. In Europe, that isn't really such a thing. I think they have regulations that cars can only sell for MSRP. After that, they walked us through the building, kind of showed us some cars and showed us a little bit of the history of Porsche, and they gave us some breakfast. Somebody within the building will come and look for you. That's the host. He usually lets you eat first, gives you an intro to the whole program, welcomes you, and walks you up to the top floor of the building where they do the vehicle deliveries. So we go upstairs and they have like 10 cars side by side in their own booths and stalls. They all have covers on them. And they have people there on site that are ready to do any detailing in case there's anything that's needed for like paint correction or blemishes. He asks, do you think this one's your car? Do you think it's that one? Which one do you think it is? And it's pretty easy to see the silhouette of a GT4RS. So I point at mine and he's like, yep, that's the one. He does the unveiling, pulls off the cover. It's such a great time. Just having friends there and seeing the car for the first time that I only ever saw on the configurator. Oak green is a color that I never really even saw in person, but I looked so much on this website called Rainbow, and it's got virtually every color that Porsche offers in their PTS program. Not PTS Plus, but PTS, which are pre-approved colors that they have in their program. I kind of just looked at a ton of photos and said, that's the one I want. It was really, really rewarding to see it in person because I just instantly fell in love with my spec, with exactly what I did. I was so stoked to finally see, after 4 to 5 months, what I actually configured from just my computer. At that point, they go through all your paperwork. They give you your insurance, they give you your tags, they give you all the information that you need for, like, in case you get pulled over. What do you provide to the local law enforcement? They give you a demo real quick, then they send you off. I think the whole process is probably about 45 minutes. It's not very long. And then they send you to across the street to the Zuffenhausen factory where they build a 911 and the Taycan. And in those two assembly lines, they pretty much show you the end-to-end process, how they paint it, how they treat the chassis. Then they call it the marriage, like when the drivetrain and the engine get mated up with the chassis, and how they put everything together to the very, very end where they take the final photo of the finished product. So they take you through there. They take you through the Taycan assembly line. That time is probably about 2 hours. It's probably about an hour each that you're gonna be in each factory. And then they send you up to the top floor of their highest, I guess, building, where you have a really, really nice view of Stuttgart. I think it's about like maybe 20 stories up or so. And you have a gorgeous view of the museum and the entire little facility that, you know, Porsche has pretty much built out for their entire factory. One thing that's really unique about Porsche is that they build everything in Germany. They don't really outsource much. They do acquire parts from all over Europe, but when it comes to assembly, they really like to keep a close eye on quality control. So Zuffenhausen is pretty much where they build their flagship cars, and self-explanatory to have the 911 there. Then they send you upstairs for the lunch, which is a multi-course meal, and they wine and dine you, and you can take as long as you want, but it's only for the guests that are doing European delivery. It is not an open restaurant that's available for guests to just book whenever they feel like it. So after that, then they give you a annual pass to the Porsche Museum. The Porsche Museum is right across the street from the restaurant and the factory. They give you a little tag that says, since you did European delivery today, you have 1 year to use this, and you can come as many times as you want. So for you and your guests, they get an annual pass. Typically, I think the admission for the Porsche Museum is about 30 euros or so, or I might remember that wrong a little bit, but it should be around there. We didn't actually end up going that day because it was too late in the day, and I had an appointment with my paint protection film shop. I wanted to kind of get it there beforehand because I didn't want to drive the car and maybe potentially put rock chips on it before they do a full paint correction as well as a full PPF job. I went ahead and skipped the museum, and I went and dropped it at Car Wrapping Stuttgart. It's a shop that I found on Renlist that's local. I think they're about maybe 15 minutes away from the factory, and I dropped it off, and the owner was very, very nice to us and welcomed us and took the vehicle, and he started to get work on it the following day. So highly recommend it. If you're looking to keep a car and you want paint protection film, definitely consider Car Wrapping Stuttgart. This is not a sponsorship or anything, but I was just very happy with my experience. They wrapped the entire car in 3 days, and they did a phenomenal job. So I was super stoked. I told them my timeline, and they got it done really, really quickly. And they even made an appointment for me to come back and check for bubbles and anything else after my trip to the 5 countries. Really, really recommend them. And even if you only do full front clip or something, that's a one-day job for them. They can get it done really, really quickly. They usually have a crew of 5 or 6 guys that can jump on a car to get things done pretty fast. So that'll wrap it up for the day of for European delivery. That's what you should know to prepare for. In the grand scheme of things, they pretty much have the program down to a T where you don't really have to do much. You go and there's a car unveiling. They take you to the factory. They feed you, and then they give you access to the museum. They try to pack it all in one day, and you can, but in the winter, days are shorter, it gets darker earlier, and that's up to you if you want to pack it all in one day. We decided to split up into 2. That's totally up to you, but this will be able to streamline your trip if you just know how to plan for it, because this is only your first leg of the trip, and you should know how to prepare for the rest of it. So in the next video, we're gonna go through what we did as we proceeded with our 5-country voyage. Cool, thanks a lot. See you on the next one.